Have you ever wondered what really happens when your local pub landlord has to go up against one of the giant pub companies? It's a real-life David versus Goliath story, and today we're going to dive right into the middle of a massive dilemma that so many publicans are facing.
I'll see you at the adjudicator. Wow, that phrase, it sounds so final, doesn't it? In the world of UK pubs, this is the line that gets thrown down when a dispute between a landlord and their pub company gets really heated. It's kind of the ultimate threat.
But for the small business owner who's pouring their heart, their soul, and probably their life savings into their pub, what does that threat actually mean? What's really involved when you take that step, when you go to the pub's code adjudicator, or the PCA?
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Because once you get past all the tough talk, you find yourself in a minefield of hidden costs and pretty serious risks. It is not as simple as just showing up and pleading your case. We've got to break down the real cost of this conflict.
So, the whole path to getting a decision is basically a three-stage obstacle course. First, there's the fee, just to get your foot in the door. Then, you've got the long wait. And finally, the scariest part of all, the huge financial risk you're taking on.
Let's start with that first hurdle. Before you've even made a single argument, you're already out £200. And that's not a deposit, it's just the fee to file the paperwork. For a small pub where every single pound counts, well, that's a pretty big barrier to justice right from the get-go.
And then the waiting game begins. And we are not talking about a few weeks here. A typical case can drag on for 6 to 12 months. Can you imagine trying to run your pub, manage your staff, and plan for the future, all while this huge unresolved dispute is just hanging over your head for the better part of a year? The stress alone is just enormous.
And this brings us to the biggest monster of all, the risk. Here's the critical part you have to understand. If the adjudicator decides you've acted unreasonably at any point in this whole process, you could be ordered to pay the pub company's legal bills. And we're talking thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of pounds. For a small pub, that's not just a bad day, that's a sum that can shut you down for good.
This slide really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? On one side, you have the pub company, right? They're armed with a whole team of expensive barristers whose entire job is to fight these cases. And on the other side, well, that's the pub landlord trying to figure out complicated legal documents in between pulling pints on a packed Friday night. The playing field is, well, it's not even close to level.
So the whole system can feel completely stacked against the little guy. But what if you could change that? What if you had a secret weapon, something to help you navigate this legal maze? Well, this is where things get interesting, with an AI in your corner.
The solution actually comes from technology. There's this tool, and it uses AI that has been trained on a massive database of past decisions from the adjudicator. Its job is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It looks at your case and predicts whether your argument actually has a good chance of winning.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's like having a QC in your pocket. A QC, a Queen's Counsel, is one of the top legal minds in the entire country. So imagine having that level of expertise available instantly, right on your phone. It's like having elite legal guidance, but without the insane price tag.
And this changes everything. The whole focus shifts from just getting into a fight to making a smart, strategic business decision. The question isn't just, am I right, anymore. The real question becomes, is this a fight that's actually worth fighting? It helps you answer that huge question, to sue or to settle.
So how does this really help you? Well, it gives you power in three really important ways. First, you get to basically prejudge your case with real data from past outcomes. Second, you find out if your argument is actually legally sound. And maybe most importantly, you get all of this insight before you spend that first 200 quid on the arbitration fee.
Really, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. Don't start a fight you can't finish. By knowing your chances from the very beginning, you avoid walking into a battle you're destined to lose. It's all about making a strategic decision for your business, not an emotional one.
And that's really the heart of it all. This kind of technology turns a high-stakes gamble into a calculated business move. So, let me leave you with this question. If you knew the odds before you ever stepped into the ring, would you sue or would you settle? Because knowing your odds, well, that changes everything.